Why you can never eat just one chip. You open the bag. You tell yourself, just one. 4 minutes later, the bag is empty. You don't remember eating most of it. You feel a little confused, a little guilty. Maybe you check the label, like it might explain what just happened. It won't, because the real answer isn't in the ingredients list. It's in your brain. And it's far stranger than you have no willpower. Quick thing before this gets stranger. If your brain has ever betrayed you over a snack, you're going to want to see what else it's been doing without telling you. Follow along, because this channel exists to expose exactly that. Here's the reframe. You didn't fail at eating one chip. You were never going to eat just one chip. That chip was built, engineered, tested, adjusted specifically so that one would be impossible. This isn't an accident of flavor. It's a science, and it has a name. Let's decode it. Food scientists have a term, the bliss point. That's the exact combination of salt, sugar, and fat that creates maximum pleasure in your brain. Not too little, not so much that it overwhelms you, just enough to make you want more immediately after swallowing. Companies don't guess this. They test it. Hundreds of versions, focus groups, machines that measure crunch sound, because, yes, the sound of a chip snapping is part of the formula too. Louder, sharper crunch signals, fresher to your brain, even when freshness has nothing to do with it. Your brain releases a chemical called dopamine every time something is pleasurable. Not just food, winning a game, getting a message, hearing your name. Dopamine isn't the pleasure itself. It's the signal that says, that was good, do it again. A single chip gives you a small dopamine hit. Small, but fast. And here's the twist most people don't know. It's not the size of the hit that hooks you, it's the speed. Your ancestors evolved in a world of scarcity. Calories were rare. Fat and salt were rare. Sugar barely existed outside of fruit, and even that was seasonal. So your brain built a simple rule, hundreds of thousands of years ago. When you find something dense in fat, salt, or sugar, eat as much as you can, because you don't know when you'll find it again. That rule kept your ancestors alive. That same rule is now being used against you by a chip that was designed in a lab to trigger it perfectly. Your brain hasn't updated the rule. It still thinks scarcity is coming. It doesn't know the bag is sitting in a pantry that will be restocked next Tuesday. Now here's where it gets stranger. Scientists studying hyperpalatable foods, foods engineered to hit multiple pleasure triggers at once, found something called sensory-specific satiety. Plain English version, your brain gets bored of one flavor fast. Eat a plate of plain rice and you'll feel full after a bowl. But give your brain salt, fat, sugar, and crunch all at once, all optimized, and it doesn't register fullness the same way. That's why you can be stuffed after dinner and still have room for chips 20 minutes later. Your stomach isn't lying. Your brain is just responding to a different signal. Pleasure, not hunger. And that signal doesn't shut off the way hunger does. Chips were built to skip the I'm full switch entirely. There's one more piece, the vanishing calorie effect. Foods that are extremely easy to chew and swallow, like chips, trick your brain into underestimating how much you've eaten. Your body expects a certain amount of chewing and digestion effort per calorie. When food goes down fast and easy, your brain quietly assumes you've eaten less than you have. So you're not just craving more. You're miscounting in real time without knowing it. Salt, fat, crunch, fast dopamine, no satiety switch. A brain that's undercounting the damage. That's not a snack. That's a system. Now bring it back to you. Think about the last time you ate just one of anything. Chips, cookies, fries. Was it ever actually one? It probably wasn't your fault in the way you thought it was. You weren't weak. You were reacting exactly the way a human brain is built to react, a brain shaped by ancestors who needed to gorge on rare fat and salt to survive, now facing a food built by a lab that knows that history better than you do. The chip company isn't fighting your taste buds. It's fighting your evolution. And it has better data than your evolution does. So next time you open a bag and tell yourself, just one, remember, that promise was never yours to keep. It was designed to be broken. Your brain runs 100 little scripts like this one every single day, and you were never taught to notice any of them. That's the whole point of this channel. Decoding what your body does before you even realize it's doing it. Follow, so the next one finds you.